Imagine a player drives to the basket, loses balance, and ends up on the court with the basketball still firmly in their hands. Many fans wonder if this immediate contact with the floor automatically means a traveling violation has occurred, disrupting the flow of the game. The direct answer is no. Simply falling to the floor while in possession of the basketball does not automatically result in a traveling violation in college basketball. The rule centers on the illegal movement of the pivot foot, and merely falling does not inherently violate this principle. The core mechanism of a traveling violation is lifting or moving the pivot foot illegally, without having first started a dribble or having released the ball for a pass or shot. When a player falls, as long as their pivot foot was not established and then moved prior to the fall, or if they fall naturally and maintain control, the action itself is not a travel. The officials are looking for an illegal shift or drag of the pivot foot that gains an unfair advantage. So, if a player falls to the floor with the ball, what can they do? They can legally pass the ball, shoot the ball, or call a timeout while still seated or lying on the court. However, it becomes a traveling violation if the player then attempts to stand up while still holding the ball, or if they slide across the floor while in possession and gaining an advantage. The key is that once they are on the floor, any attempt to regain their feet or shift their position illegally with the ball in hand will trigger a travel call. This rule highlights the specific definition of a pivot foot in basketball, which is the foot maintained in its original point of contact with the floor, while the other foot may move in any direction. The officials are trained to distinguish between an uncontrolled fall, which is part of the game, and a deliberate action to move the pivot foot or slide to improve position. Understanding this nuance helps clarify why some falls are penalized and others are not. Ultimately, whether falling to the floor with the ball results in a travel depends entirely on the player's actions after they hit the ground. If they releases the ball or call a timeout, they are usually safe, but any illegal movement of the pivot foot or sliding while still holding the ball will result in a violation. This rule ensures fair play by preventing players from gaining an unfair advantage through movement that isn't part of a dribble, pass, or shot.